Hi there, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Rise and Thrive. I am your host, Brenda Amonyiki, and as usual, I bring you the most exciting entrepreneurs to have discussions with people who share their stories. And trust me, today we are going to be learning a lot from my guest. So I'll let him introduce himself, tell us what he does, and then we'll take on the discussion from there. So you're welcome to the show, Gilbert.
Thank you, Brenda.
Welcome to Rise and Thrive. This is a place where we share our experiences, share our business hustles, because we want everyone to hustle, rising together and thriving together. So maybe you can just tell us who you are and what you do.
Gilbert Twine is my name. I run a company called Twine Shots, where I happen to be the founder, and we do photography and videography, corporate and social events. On the corporate side, doing conferences, workshops, seminars, trainings. And on the social side, anything that involves happiness, weddings, introductions, picture, like baby shower, gift, anything that involves that happiness, that is what we major in, photography and videography.
Yes. Okay, so I think that's very interesting. Already when we came to the studio, I was thinking, okay, this guy, this is what he does. He'll be, highlighting and saying maybe tweak this, tweak that. But I like that the passion with which you speak about bringing life to social events, because at the end of the day, it's important for us to capture those moments.
Yeah, true.
But before we even talk about Twine Shots, when were you exposed to the idea of business? Did you grow up in a family that does business? What is it that took you and drew you in that direction of business?
Now, my story, I think it goes back to 2004.
Yeah.
When I was about 8 years old. So I come from a family that runs business, that runs a kitchenware shop on a full-time basis.
Okay.
So my dad has a shop in Ibanda town, that is on the western part of Uganda.
Yeah.
They did everything kitchenware. And so we've grown up in business. You have to wake up, go open the shop, wait for your parents to come around.
Yeah.
Back in the days, Euro was basically give change, getting to teach us how to count money, giving change to customers, getting to learn the prices. So whenever vacation would come, that is P7 vacation, senior fan form 6, the person in VAG was the person in charge
of the shop. Okay.
You must open, you must welcome in the customers, you must train the new staff. So it was I should call it a delicate kind of business, kitchenware. Every day you're recording breakages, what and what. So since 2004, I think till maybe say 2017, when I was in my second year at campus, we're full-time involved in business. Full-time involved in business. Then my first business as a person goes back to my lower secondary. Yeah. When I was in the seminary. So
when you're in a seminary,
I went to Chitavi Seminary for my lower secondary, and I went to Mushanga Seminary for my primary. So I had a dream of becoming a priest.
Oh my goodness!
I had a dream of becoming a priest that was cut short by a business called Hot Hot.
Called what?
Hot Hot.
Hot Hot.
Hot Hot. So Hot Hot. Whenever we'd leave class at 9, we had some external suppliers who would give us chapati, those hot chapatis. So we'd receive chapati from the outside people.
Yes.
Go selling them in the dormitories at night.
At night?
Yes. They give them to us at about 300 shillings and we sell them at 700.
At 700. So you're making like a 400 shilling profit.
I had someone who I should say I was into a brokerage kind of business. So the person was giving them to me at 500. So they would supply to someone who was in A level.
At 300.
At 300. He gives them to me at 500. I sell at 700.
At 700.
So I was his biggest agent to a point that I became the only agent in school.
Wow.
So I'd leave class at 9, between 9 and 9:30. Ensure that all the chapatis are sold out.
At night?
At night.
That's interesting.
So in the seminar, I had something we call grand silence. Grand silence.
Oh.
Grand silence. So after supper, at about, I think 7. Yeah. 7, 8. So between, 7. So between 7 and 9 p.m., after we did the night prayer session, it was grand silence.
Well, like the whole school would just go quiet.
Quiet.
It was like time for meditation, or
No, like grand silence. You're not supposed to talk. You go to class, do your personal reading, no talking. They find you talking, either they expel you.
3 hours.
Yes.
I would never have survived that.
Imagine someone who can run a business during the grand silence session. That's how interesting it was. So, would pass sheets in class.
Oh, okay.
And you get to know how many people want chapati and whatnot. So that's when you
everyone
get into the
registers
dormitory.
interest
They
on
register.
the sheet.
And now, what gave me an added convenience was I used to give people credit in the night. Write your names, have the chapati. The next day, time
You
to pay.
settle each other.
Yes, we
But
settle
so
each
where
other.
were they getting the money from? Because if you can't pay me in the night, where is the hope of getting money the next day? And this is boarding school.
They had the money, but to avoid the scandals of being caught speaking in grand silence, looking for change.
Okay, yes.
So I would just come, I would basically supply in
So
the
you
night.
it's silent delivery.
Yes.
You see the sheet, supply,
people eat
and you settle the next day.
the next day. So from hot, when my colleague he was called Kato. I want to credit people that got me into business. He was called Katopo.
Katopo.
Yes. So when Kato left,
Yeah.
I think he was expelled in his Form 5. It could have been in the same issue. They got my supplier, and then they had to expel him.
This was the guy who would sell to you at 500.
Yes, the person in Ere would supply me. So when they expelled him, I was like, now what next?
What next? Because you were used to business and money.
I was already in business, and I'm in O-level.
Yeah.
An O-level student, you cannot get chapatis from out. How? So it is the A-level student that would give us
Yes.
the stock, and then we do the sales. So when Kato left, like, now what next? My aim at school, my dad sending me 10,000 for pocket money would be a hustle. You know, parents.
Yeah.
By then, the biggest amount they would give you would be maybe, say, 30,000.
Yeah. 20K, 30K.
And this
around
goes
there.
back to 2011.
Yeah.
I was in my Form 2.
Yeah.
So I was like, what next? So I approached the Reverend Father Kamcha. I told him, I know how to trim people's hair. Why don't you buy a machine? I do business, and I keep making the returns until I pay off the machine.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So at school, they used to bring barbers.
Yeah.
And the time for trimming of hair was after class. That was between 4:30 to 6.
6, yeah.
So I used to go, still, when I was still in senior one, I used to go and hang out with the barbers. I had a barber called Isma that I got to learn how to trim off hair. To the point that he had bought another machine. So whenever I would leave class, he knows he has people that are people that are trimming, that are helping him.
Yeah.
So Father Kamcha accepted my business proposal and idea. He bought the machine. Me, I would go through all the classes and tell them, evening time.
Yeah.
You want like a big brush and like a small brush? I'll do that.
How much are you charging?
It was 1,000.
1,000.
Yes.
Okay.
By then, Isma was only doing Shaolin. You see, the
It takes off everything.
of the hair. So me, that added convenience that I had was doing brush number 1 and brush number 2.
So brush number 1 doesn't take off all the hair.
Yes,
so it's like,
yes.
yeah, I can
Slightly.
see.
So when Father brought the machine, of course, he was the dean of studies. So whenever I would be late for the evening classes, they knew
This guy is
he was
doing
at the
business,
salon.
Yeah.
True. So my speed, the speed that I had attained, between 4:30
Yeah.
and 6, I would hit even a number of between 50 students to 100 just in a single evening.
Every single day.
Yes. So if you do 10 for that is 10,000.
Yeah.
So I would make 100,000, between 50 and 100,000 per day.
A day.
I think Father had invested about 80,000.
So literally, you guys were bowling in profits after that.
But the most interesting thing was, I think after 1 month, he said, it is okay, the machine is yours, work on yourself. Me, I've gotten the money that I invested in.
And much more. What was the profit sharing like?
He had a wooden box in his office. Whenever I would make the money, he never told me, bring this and this. Make money, go and put the money in the box.
Yes, in the box.
So me, I would look at tomorrow break, I need about maybe say 700 shillings, 500 for, we used to call it, the chindas. We used to call it fresh.
Fresh,
Yes,
yes.
fresh. So I would save some money for freshies. We used to call them freshies. Freshies when you get into the canteen and buying the vendors. So I'd keep like with maybe say 1,000 or 2,000 maximum.
And you'd put the rest
In the
for
box.
him.
Yes, for him.
Okay.
So after 1 month, when he broke the box, he said, "No, it's okay. You can now run the business as your own."
Did he give you back some money from what you put in the box?
He said, "It is okay. Run the business on your own." Just that was enough for me.
That was enough for you. Okay.
Now, from the money that I had,
Yeah.
pocket money, I bought a second machine. I picked up my friend who was called Simo Gerard. I think he's now working with Centenary Bag. Gerard, shout outs to you. So I called Simo Gerard and I trained him how to trim off the hair.
Trim hair, yes.
Yes. So that was I think in our Form 3. Back then, finding you with a phone in school.
No, it was a crime.
It
was a big crime. Yeah.
And I was making money in school. Guess what? Where would you put that money?
You bought a phone.
I bought a phone.
What phone was it?
I had a G-Tide G300. When you point on, it's like G-Tide, touch me, touch the world. That was the slogan. So I had my phone that was being given by my class teacher called Mutundindwa Bernard.
Yes.
Other days. So I trained Gerard how to cut the hair. So we did business for the entire Form 3. I exchanged my phones. I sold off the G-Tide. I bought the Techno. It was called the Techno C9. Sold off the Techno. I bought the first smartphone. It was called the Nokia Asha 300.
Yes, I remember that.
People in school studying, we are making money, and the best we could put it, buy phones, nothing else. My parents didn't know that I was doing this kind of business.
They had no idea.
Wow. So when we got into Form 3, I was a little bit focused. I realized that this is taking me out from my goal.
Yeah.
I left the business for Gerard.
Like you just left everything.
Something new had come up.
Yeah,
Something new had come up.
I thought so. Because I was going to say you worked so hard to save for those two machines, just giving it up like that.
He had made for me enough money.
Yeah.
And at some point I feel like this money is too much.
Yeah.
We're talking about 300,000, 200K.
That's a
Seeing
lot of money
200,000
that time,
in your wallet, it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, Gerard, something better has come up.
And what was that?
So when I went for holidays, my second term holidays in Form 3,
Yeah.
I met a guy called Julius,
Uh-huh.
and he taught me how to make armrests using the handles of Nomi. If you remember that Nomi bucket,
the bucket, yes,
it had that red handle.
Yes.
So that handle will give me two armrests. Each armrest was for 2,000. So in a day, I can make 10.
And how were you sourcing the Nomi bucket? Okay,
We are in school.
Yeah,
One of
in
the
school,
first
so almost
requirements,
everywhere.
you must come with a Nomi,
With a Nomi.
with a Nomi bucket.
A Nomi bucket, yeah.
So the raw materials were
Were
there.
there, available.
Yes. Fast forward. One of the reasons as why they expelled me from the seminary was because of that business. At some point, the raw materials got scarce. They got scarce.
Definitely.
And we had to look for connections in the neighboring schools. We had St. Charles Ruanga up. We had St. Cecilia in the neighborhood. So I had to look for people that I could collaborate with to get me those handles. And I was paying good money. So I got into that business. Julius trained me at a cost of, I think, over 50,000.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm making more money, spending less time.
Yeah.
I'm making 5 bangles, I'm earning 10,000. The other side, you have to work on 10 heads.
On 10 heads, yeah. Even that time.
Yes. So I decided to go for bangles.
Uh-huh.
Bangles make me a lot of money. So only that you would invest in the raw materials.
Yes.
In trimming here, I wouldn't put in money for electricity and what. All that was sorted by the school. So here I would buy threads, but of course the profits were so abnormal. So abnormal. Made bangles. We'd get a bangle, put the threads, and put someone's name on that bangle. Like, yes. Just I can maybe put Gilbert, I can put Tom, I can put Brenda.
Yes.
So back in school, we had what we called number mates.
In other schools.
In our school, Chitav Seminary, our number mates were from St. Cecilia.
Yeah, we had that in school as well.
Exactly. So my
class numbers.
Exactly, the class numbers. So my pitch was, you cannot write a letter Your number met without a bangle.
Wow.
Come, I'll give you a payment plan. I make for you a bangle, you place it in your envelope with your letter, send to St. Cecilia.
That was extremely smart. That is marketing 2.2.
Exactly. Right. I made bangles and bangles and bangles. So when we came to third term, towards archdiocese examinations, I was not ready for the exams. But I had the money. So the archdiocese exams, some schools did exams before us.
Yeah.
So we had to go through some teachers. We tell them we can pay and you give us the papers. We pay them. They send us papers that the other schools have done, and it was the same exam for us.
Yeah.
So into the fourth paper, they realized that the weakest student in mathematics, I was so good at math. We reached a point in that archdiocese paper that we were working backwards. You start from the answer, working backwards. Teachers got suspicious, like, no, something is not fishy, right.
Yes.
They realized that they were cheating. So they had to suspend archdiocese examinations. When they suspended them, I wrote a letter to the director. Sorry, to our rector. In the seminary, the headmaster is called the rector.
The rector, yeah.
For them, our class has agreed. We either finish the archdiocese or we cannot proceed with these examinations. I was the class secretary.
You wanted to lead a strike.
So Reverend Father Didon Sekanimanya said, you don't want to do exams? The students started to riot. I wasn't the leading person that was into that.
But you lit the fire.
I just wrote the letter.
That is like striking a match.
So the next day, as students were waiting not to do the paper, Father Dido invited me to his office, only to get into his office. On his table, he had a glass, a very big glass, and my letter was under his glass. And he was reading to me his letter. So you have convinced your classmates not to sit examinations. Before we could finish our conversation, the school was on fire.
What?
The boys were making noise everywhere. And that is our conversation. I was like, it was cut short.
It was cut short. And
he came on, called an assembly, said, I'm giving you 5 minutes, senior 3 students, get out of school and go home. Because that was always the happiest moment for us.
As
so we
children,
picked our
that's
cases,
exciting,
packed. Senior 3 is gone. Other students are still at school. It was until we boarded the taxis that we started thinking about what to tell our parents.
What to tell your parents, yeah.
But I had my elder brother, I was called Sozi, rest in peace. Sent him some command ahead of time. I told him, just tell them they have sent them out from school. You be there to welcome me and make it feel like it's a good thing. So Sozi welcomed me. He got home. My parents didn't, parents never used to overmind when we have big brothers.
Yeah.
So they never minded. Until December 7th, 2012, they called our parents a meeting at school from 3. Getting into that meeting, I was called on the floor. You could imagine what was running in the head of my dad.
That's a bit like
coming for a meeting, and your son is the one that is on the spotlight for leading his classmates not to sit the archdiocese examinations. And me, I earned my expulsion right there.
Right there, yes, because you're the one that literally incited the violence.
Exactly. So imagine you're done with Form 3, you're getting into Form 4.
Yeah.
Getting into Form 4, getting the school was not easy. My dad told me, go stay with your auntie until you find a school.
He was angry.
The comment on my report, he has been expelled for leading senior 3 students not to sit examinations. Please try a school which does not sit what? Exams. Think about a school that can accept you with that kind of comment.
Definitely not.
I looked for a school. The school failed.
Yeah.
Father Dido called me, said, but Gilbert, you're a good student.
Yeah.
Come back. We can let you in. He knew I was a good student.
Yeah.
I was a top performer. I think when they expelled me, I was the 4th in class. Come back. We can offer you a place. But I imagined myself changing a square and going back to the seminary. Of course, who would go back to the seminary?
Yeah.
So when he told me, I didn't inform my parents. I pushed and I got a place in St. Kagwa High School, where I sat my Form 4. Now, while at St. Kagwa, I found strangers. And the best way to be out of strangers was upscale my business. So in St. Kagwa, it was a high school. Students would leave school like at any point in time.
Oh, okay. And
so in St. Kagwa, the raw materials were in excess. In the seminar, were about 300 students. Now getting to a school that has about 800 students.
Back on the Bangle business.
Of course, you're now into a school that has raw material.
Yeah.
It has raw material. You can easily go to town and buy threads. So in St. Kagwa, we made bangles for St. Agnes Girls, for Valley College, plus 2 high school. All those schools were in the neighborhood.
Yes.
I would escape from school, go in a given school, identify a student, come and make a bangle.
Yeah.
And I managed to sit my senior for doing the business. I passed the first grade of 28 aggregates. 28 aggregates. And that told me now that you have a first grade, you can look for a school of your choice. He doesn't know that I'm doing business.
Yeah.
I went and got St. Mary's. I went to St. Mary's Chitende. They offered me a place. Now, when I went to St. Mary's, still in the line of business, and a friend called Ogogol Jonathan, my deka, the first training was you have to learn how to make the bangle. Now, I'm into a mixed school. My class, Form 5, were over 1,000.
Yeah. Chitende is a big
My class
school,
alone was 1,000 students.
You were just looking at market opportunities.
Imagine a class of 1,000, Form 5, a class of 1,000, Senior 6, and all level over 4,000 students.
Yeah.
I made bangles, my dear. We made bangles. My brother, I brought my brother on board, and his role was to supply me with raw materials. He would buy threads, he was at campus. Buy threads, come in the evening, and we had a point where the gas cylinders were at the back of the Form 5 block. Yeah. He would just throw the black Avera there.
Oh, so you just know you have
because we had, I would just get maybe like once in a week, get chance on the wedding, I make a phone call, bring the raw materials, this and this day. Throw them there, I'll find them after class. So I would go find my Kavera, get my raw materials, we made bangles. But there I was so serious in school.
You were still selling the bangle at 2K still.
No. We are now in St. Mary's Chitende. Each bangle was now 10,000.
What?
Now it flipped from 2,000 to 3,000, but the demand was so high.
Yes.
5,000 demand was so high. 10,000 demand was high. Okay, let's just work at 10K.
At 10K per bangle.
My brother Namanya Innocent knows how much money he banked.
You guys were even banking.
Of course, in school, money was too much. You're making 100 bangles, that is 1 million.
Yes.
I didn't make a lot of money. I made crazy money in my Form 5 and my Form 6.
Money.
While in school, at Chitende, I was a choir member. So my life was school, class, choir.
Bangles.
No, okay, for bangles, it was the time was there.
Yes.
I had trained my boys. We had our candles in the dormitory. Our target was 20 bangles per day.
Yeah.
So orders would come in and tell you we shall deliver in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. We would schedule ahead of time. We made bangles. Form 5. We made bangles in Form 6. We made money at St. Mary's Chitende. I used to give them some small portions of money, of course. You're giving them something. Yes, the boys that had trained. But I'm shocked no one took it up as a full-time job. They all opted on the other side of the story. So, while in school, in Chitende, I was looked at as the most serious student because I never got time to interact with my fellow colleagues. It was always business class. I sat school. I was the 5th best in Uganda that year. Okay. I passed with 20 points. Okay. With three Esters.
Yes.
Find out what the Ester means.
Yes.
20 points, fifth best in Uganda, and I was the best in Wakiso district then.
And with a thriving business.
Now I'd moved on into another business now. When I left Form 6, getting into my vacation.
Yeah. But persuade. So this whole time you were running this mega business in Chitende, the teachers never suspected anything?
No, Chitende is structured in such a way that when you're in the dormitory, and you're there for maybe, say, 1 hour, they can't get, because even, okay, if they suspect, then what?
Then what?
For them, you're in school, you're in class, period, and you can't take them to class. It was a mixed school. Which girl do you want to look at you trying to make a bangle in class?
So you always did it in the dormitory?
In the dormitory. And in class, we had cameras almost everywhere.
Yeah.
So we always did them in the dormitory. And boys wanted to surprise their girlfriends with the bangles. Yeah. So they didn't want to know that things were sourced locally. So people wanted to know maybe these things are being imported into the school.
The person was making them right there.
Exactly. So when I got into vacation, I told my dad, I've been getting some money from school. I want to start my own business. He said, it's okay. Because he was in business, as long as the business is within my business.
Within, yes.
Because we're supporting him in business.
Yeah. So
I started up a bulk mobile money outlet in Uganda. So whenever I would make money in school, my brother would bank it for me. So when I went for Form 6 holidays, the cash was too much. So I started up bulk mobile money. People in Uganda, you all know that the bulk mobile money services that were run in that year of 2015.
So how much?
Sorry, in 2016.
Let me just ask you. So you get back from school. Do you have an estimation of how much you had?
Yes. The money was on account. It was about 18 million. It was a lot of money.
Oh my goodness!
It was crazy money.
That's crazy.
About 18 million.
Yeah.
Most mobile money businesses in Uganda were running at maybe say 2 million, 1 million.
Yeah.
So me, I came
with a bank. 18
million.
Wow.
So my parents were happy because I was lending them some money.
They never questioned where you got the money from.
Of course, I'm from school. I've come with my money.
With my money, yes.
It was obvious that I was in school and I've come back with the money. But in holidays, I used to come with so many orders and they would see me making the bangles.
They used to see you, so they had an idea.
Yes. Even on my mobile money, still I was making the bangles. So I ran mobile money for my entire vacation. I go to campus.
Yeah.
So when I go to campus, now what next? You know, whenever you change the environment, you want people to look at you in a different way.
Yeah.
Imagine myself in my room, my friends are coming to visit me, the room is full of threads and what. I need to find something better.
I need to evolve.
Yes. So I authored a book called An Anthology for Success. Talking about my life stories, my business, and where I was coming from.
You actually wrote the book.
I authored the book when I was still at St. Mary's. So at Chitende, whatever thing I would do, I would write in my diary. Yes. So I had content that I had written for 2 years. I authored the book called An Anthology for Success. I went back to Chitende. They supported and they said, no, you can always bring your books and sell on Visitation Day. I made sales. I was selling each copy at 20,000. I've now left the bangle alone.
Yes.
So handing over the bangle, I trained one of my boys called Nicholas. Baby Samka, good money. I handed over the business. Just like I handed over the saloon business to Gerard. Yes. Bangles, I handed over to Nicholas Kanana. And his regime also started. Up to now, he said he also made money and handed over to other people.
Over to someone else.
Yes. So I authored the book at campus. I made sales of that book. Made sales as I had about 3 different versions.
There were even versions?
Yes. Everything has now gone out of my head because of this photography business. How do they call that book number 1, book number? The volumes. I had volume 3 volumes. Yes. So I sold books until I go to campus. But during my vacation, I had so much love for wallet pictures. I go to the studio, take pictures were taken of me. Yes, I keep them in my wallet. Now, when I go to campus, fast forward, I found myself with a camera because I knew I could take pictures of myself.
Of yourself, yeah.
It was until I got that camera that I realized that you cannot take pictures of yourself. you have to have someone to take the pictures.
Take a picture of you, yes.
Because I'm so passionate about the camera. Even the phones that I used to buy in school, I would go take pictures of flowers, take pictures of butterflies on the flowers during the holidays.
Yeah.
So I realized that with this camera, you cannot take pictures of yourself, rather take pictures of other people. Started with my classmates. At campus, the maximum you can do is 4 hours per day. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. Lectures always run for 4 hours. So instead of going for discussions, I walk around campus with my friends, take pictures and whatnot. So it was through that process that I found the love for photography. I'll take pictures, go to the library, research on how to make this picture better.
Yeah.
So no one trained me in photography. It was out of passion and the love for the camera.
Yeah.
That is how my journey for business moves from selling hot
from hot
now to photography.
I'm just so intrigued with the Bangle business and why and how you have the ability to evolve and say, now I'm leaving hot. I'm going to do hair, and then you leave it, move on totally, go to bangles, move on totally, then you write a book.
I write a book, from the book to photography.
So when is Twine Shots? When does it come to life?
Now, the story that I skipped on how I got the camera and whatnot.
Yes.
During internship, my friend Bash Mutumba, you know how you get into second and then they deploy you for internship?
For internship, yes.
I was in the same class with Bash Mutumba. We were doing the same course.
Yeah.
We were in the same discussion group. So Bash Mutumba got internship at Galaxy FM.
Yeah.
And he started taking pictures. So that is where my love for pictures also came. I was like, okay, Bash can do this, then why not? I can also do it. So my love was for pictures, not actually the business part of it.
Yeah.
But I knew, of course, once you start taking good pictures, why not?
Yeah.
You can make the money out of it. So when we came back from internship, my camera was in place. So Bash Mutumba was the first person that designed for me the Twine Shots logo. We were in a computerized accounting class when he designed that logo. Because I was taking pictures of my friends in school, trying to show me how to do simple edits, and he also got so busy because after internship, I think Galaxy at some point retained him.
Yeah.
He had a big following on Twitter, so he became an influencer. So I had to find my way out into YouTube, how to edit pictures. So getting into photography, Bash Mutumba designs for me the first logo, start taking pictures. I didn't want, you see how people have those good names, so me, I decided to go botanical. So from a Twine, I picked Twine and called my company Twine Shots.
Twine Shots.
Actually, by then it was a brand. Kept putting on Twine Shots. So my first business was from my friend called Twine Ivan. He was my classmate. He had a birthday in one day at University Inn. He said, since you have a camera, come and take pictures of us. I was like, okay, give me 20K and I buy batteries. I tell where the batteries are. And then see if he could give me some money. And give me 20K. I did the pictures. Going forward, Ezra came on board. I also have my girlfriend's birthday. Please come and do pictures. Like, give me 50K for batteries. He gave me the 50K. 50K turned into 70K. 70K turned into 150,000. But wait. You not campus having 150K. Your parents are giving you upkeep of 50,000.
50K,
Because the meals are paid full time. So I was on government sponsorship. My living out allowance would cater for the meals. My parents would pay for the hostel. They told me to not to get into campus, to be in hostel. So, of course, the upkeep was minimal. They would give me 50K, maybe per month, or depending on when the need would come. I want handouts, what and what. 150K became too much. At some point, I broke my savings box and I found about 3 million. Okay. Let me buy a better lens. That I bought another camera. So from Bash Mutumba getting me a logo, from me charging 20,000 50 to 70, that was how I evolved into the photography business. And being at campus, I took chance of the internet at campus and Wi-Fi everywhere to get to search about the best photographers in the world, how they do their thing. So that is how I came with my uniqueness. until the December period when we'd be busy into exams. And I had gotten into some photographers that I used to tag along because I had a Canon 630D. So they always wanted me to go with my camera.
Yeah.
And the point when I was unable to go, they were like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
But wave you,
Yeah.
I realized that they would give me 150 when I'm working with them, and they are now giving me 300K for me to keep at campus, and they take my equipment. So in my business, I have a segment called equipment hire. So that is why the equipment hire bit was born.
Okay.
Giving photographers my equipment to go
They
use.
go work and then they bring back money.
Exactly. So that is why the equipment hire bit was born. And for that time, we graduated in 2020. After campus in 2019, already I had mastered the art of photography. I was still improving. So when I finished campus in 2019, I enrolled for a course at NASA Road, an institute called graphics, to get to learn the different Adobe softwares because those were so instrumental in our kind of field. I learned how to play with them so that I also became more relevant into the industry. I could design my own flyers, posters, and what. Then we get into our graduation in 2020. So taking pictures of my classmates during the graduation,
I can imagine.
That was my turnaround.
Yes.
So the photography business goes back to 2017 when I was at campus in my second year until 2020 when we did our graduation pictures that I now got the visibility to the outside people. And that is how bookings started coming in. And that's how I diverted from baby showers and birthdays now into weddings.
Into weddings and more corporate events and things like that.
Exactly.
So your parents knew you were doing this on campus?
No. They had no idea.
They had no idea. They never have an idea of your
business. They had no idea.
So when you finished campus, did you then get into employment?
No, when I finished
or you just
campus,
decided to move along with traineeship?
No, when I finished campus, my dad tells me, campus is now done. You need to come back and support us at the show.
Yes.
Because they are so busy. You need to come and support us at the show. Daddy, I have another course I'm doing. I forced myself and enrolled for ACCA. I did BCom accounting, so I enrolled for ACCA. When my dad, I'm doing ACCA, I have no, I can come back home.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So we respected that. Of course, because I was still in physics, it's okay. Keep doing your thing. So I keep in Kampala. I get a job as an audit trainee. But when I got in, I was more like an internal audit. I think I worked for about 3 weeks and I didn't resign. I just went.
You just disappeared.
The pay was good.
Yeah.
But what I was making on the other side
was better. Plus coupled with passion.
Yes. So I was into employment for maybe, I can say 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yes, until I left. My parents know that I'm studying ACCA. Now I see lockdown coming around. It was 2020, mind you. Lockdown hits. It says everything has been closed. Board the bus and come back where? Come back to Ibada. So it was during that lockdown period that changed my entire business because I had passion for it and I made the money that they didn't know about. So I could afford to buy data during the entire lockdown.
Yeah.
I could afford to buy data. I won't give that deep story of myself into business, but I could afford to buy data. So while in lockdown, that is when I mastered the art of photography, how to edit pictures, because photographers used to come up with so many concepts. They send pictures, edit and send back and whatnot. So it was during the lockdown that they wanted to pick an idea. But of course, lockdown had come. I realized that with this lockdown, they may never let me leave for my game. I enrolled. During lockdown, I went online and put in my application for my master's. Luckily enough, they shortlisted me to go for the tests. So when I went for the tests, when I showed them the letter, they're like, okay, go and do the tests. So that gave me a chance to come back to Kampala. Came back to Kampala, I did my GMAT test, I passed it and I was admitted. But by then already I was doing weddings. But they had no idea.
They had no idea. Money was rolling on the side.
Yes. Now, it was until I got to buy the car and the big man picks interest. He says, are you stealing money from the business? Where are you getting all this money from? Good luck, I was never at the shop.
Yes.
So he had no saying that maybe I was stealing money from the business. But he was trying to suspect from my brother. Maybe I'm conniving with my brother, stealing money.
Yeah.
But my mom knew what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
I told my mom during lockdown what I was doing, how I was a cameraman. And of course, she was so mad. But she just said, okay, that's what you like, it is okay. But of course, I couldn't tell my dad.
Yeah.
So my dad got to plan later on, I think in about late 2020, when I bought my first car. That is when he got to know that I'm into photography.
Wow. But you see, that right there raises a very important conflict when it comes to family business. Because your dad and mom have set up this kitchenware business. And they want that for their children to come and take it on. So they're educating you, so you come and run the business. But you as the child, your interest is totally different. So it's really very conflicting when you putting up a business with that idea. I think as parents, you always have to be prepared for a heartbreak because the children will have totally different passion.
My dad told me, I can teach you at campus and you become a cameraman. Then it's okay, you go. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, because it doesn't understand. And also, parents of that generation, when they think of a cameraman, they are thinking, it's for uneducated people. They don't know that now it's the educated people who are doing videography and all of that.
Exactly. It was that bad. But he later came to accept me when I bought that. I was like, okay. He's making the money.
He's making the money.
But his idea, he wanted me to get back into business, just like my big brother.
Yes. So of your siblings, are you the only one that is not in the family business?
We are all not in the family business.
So
it's only my big brother that is in the family business.
So the rest are not as well.
Now, my dad, he does what they call cattle fattening. So the business is being run by mom and my big brother. And my dad, basically, he supports on doing the shopping and whatnot, but he's so much into the farm. Calling me back at home, of course, he couldn't be at the shop, me and my brother. He wanted me to support him at the farm. As my brother is at the shop, I'm at the farm.
Yeah.
So that's why he got the higher, okay.
This is.
But I took a different line of business, but my brother is still in the same line of business with my dad.
So I'm just going to ask you a question that has come to mind. So would you say, because I'm thinking about myself in school, I would never have thought of making money like the way you are thinking, okay, now what, cutting hair, blah, blah, blah. And I could say it's because maybe my parents were civil servants. So do you think it has the environment in which you're raised? Do you think it has an impact or an influence in how you view the world, like in terms of business, like for you, because your parents were doing business? Do you think that influenced the way you thought about making money?
Of course, when I got into employment, that's when I saw the bigger picture. Sitting in office, putting in transport, basically waiting for money to come at the end of the month, and it goes back into the same cycle. I was unlucky, my period didn't go to the month. But while I was there, with auditors, you work 8 to 5, you push 5, you leave office at 9, 10, even at 9, you go home and still do the same work after about midnight. I realized that even before salary comes in, you must have transport to go to work and to leave work. Now, back at home, other shop were making money on a daily. Was selling a dozen of plates at 12,000. Sometimes the client would come in, you pay the person 15K, and they pay the money. They pay the money. When we were going back to school, my dad would ask you, please make the shopping list. They would not give us the money, but whatever you wanted, they would provide.
Because they had that.
Because we had made the money. Out of the holiday, I could be sure that besides the maybe say if they were made to make a profit, maybe say of 1 million, I would be sure they had made a profit of 3, because if the price is 15, I could convince and sell at 25. At 25. So we're sure the money was there and they would provide. However, while into the family business and given the chance that I went to school, during the process of running that business, it's something I realized that I may not go for anything like a good business. I realized that I can perform best in a service kind of business. I'll get into the store. You've just stocked in 10 cartons or maybe say white mugs. Of the 10 cartons, like 3 dozens are all broken.
All damaged,
But it's you send someone to get a box of maybe say 8-inch salad plate from the store.
Something
Getting into the shop, they fall down with the box. So we're so much hands-on, would carry the boxes from the store, would take that. You're carrying like 10 plastic chairs or 15 plastic chairs from the front, take them to the store. Getting them into the door of the store, maybe 3 gets
broken,
So the losses were there, and with what I saw, this is good business, but this is not business I should look into. So I had my thoughts already into first year that I cannot get into this kind of business. You tell my dad that we've offloaded 20 boxes of giant flasks, but each box has maybe say 3 damages. Of course, we'd be okay with it. I saw it later that maybe it is the price that was selling that it would cover up for that. But looking at those breakages, like, this business,
no.
Not for me. And then looking at how business is evolving lately, by then people would still had serious prices and you had the plans, but now the competition is out there. The price cuts are everywhere. So that is why I decided to choose a different path into the service business.
So what I get from you is that your family being into business and you growing up and working in the family business influenced the way you think.
Exactly.
Because most times also parents that are into business still don't involve their children. So children just they don't know what their parents actually they know. Okay, dad runs a kitchenware business, but they don't involve their children in the business. So that child will not grow up with that influence of I need to run a business. But you started handling money like 8 years and saying, okay, every holiday I'm making money and this and that. So you now run your own studio, right?
I run my own studio. I have the biggest studio in Uganda. I normally proud myself on that. I have the biggest studio in Uganda. And that is where I sit full time.
Where is it located?
So the studio is alongside Makere Kasubi Road. The building is called Elements Courts. And we're on the ground floor, room G001. At least if you're coming from the traffic lights of Kasubi, sloping down to Makere, there's that big building on the left-hand side called the Elements Courts. The signage is everywhere in the shots.
Why do you say it's the biggest studio in Uganda? Based on what? On size, on ground space?
Back in 2022, before I got into studio space, of course, as a photographer, you get clients that want to take pictures in the studio. And by then, I did have a studio. So we used to look out for studios to take our clients' pictures. So it was through that I got chance to visit so many studios. You'd go here at a studio space, maybe say for 1 hour, work within it. Then until 2022, it was the end of 2022, when I got a loan from the FCU to expand my business, and my thoughts were getting a space that is extremely big, and focus on that. So I got a loan from the FCU for about 2 years that I'm still paying up to now. That helped me to bring my studio space into play. So the studio spaces that we used to work into is that you get in, the shooting space is done, you're basically taking pictures. When you're done, someone else starts. So with my studio space, 5 photographers can work at the same time. So we have different backgrounds, each person with his own camera, with your own lighting, and you're taking pictures at the same time.
So do you still have people who are like you before you had a studio, who come to hire space?
Of course, one of our business modules is we run 4 kinds of businesses. We do our main, which is photography and videography, social and corporate events. We train photographers on a skills-based basis, not on a certificate-based basis, if you can call that well.
What's the difference?
We train photographers to get the skill. We don't give certificates for what? Go to the school first, we shall give you the skill on how to use the camera, how to take good pictures, how to edit, and how to deliver them to a client so that you're able to earn the money. So we give you the skill from scratch, take that good picture, do those good videos, deliver the client, and earn the money. Okay. So we train commercial photographers on the skills. Sometimes skills do not require you to go in grass and seed. You learn on the job. So we go with them to the field, train them on how we do the business and how basically how we work.
Yeah.
So they're able maybe to start up their own or maybe to keep supporting us.
Yeah.
Then 3, we do equipment hire. Canon and Nikon.
Yeah.
We hire out equipment to photographers and content creators. Then 4, we hire out studio space. Just like we used to go out to look for studios, we also hire out studio spaces to photographers, mainly photographers. Photographers. You have your client, they are looking for a good space with good parking, different backgrounds. You find that at Twine Shots.
Okay. That's interesting. So I know earlier on when we were having conversation, you mentioned that you're part of the BNI network.
Yes.
And I just thought I would ask, how has that changed your business since you joined it in terms of your clientele and your interactions? How has it changed your business?
Okay. Thank you for asking that. Most people have asked me that. Now, BNI stands for Business Network International. I joined BNI when I didn't know what it was all about.
Yeah.
But the support that it has given me, besides the main role being making money and generating business referrals, I have been able to get a board of directors from BNI.
A board of directors.
At no cost. Now, BNI is a platform where different like-minded business owners meet to discuss issues concerning business. Besides exchanging referrals, there is a lot that is exchanged into that room.
Yeah.
Networking with business owners, getting to know what challenges people are facing in their businesses so that you work ahead of time. Since we can be like, say, 10 different photographers in different chapters. So BNI is on the principle of collaboration. You get to collaborate with them, get to see how they do their business, how you can be able to support them. Then besides that, BNI meetings happen between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning. So me, I came up with that principle of from bedroom to boardroom. I leave the bedroom, get into the boardroom, get free knowledge at zero cost. In a nutshell, BNI has supported me to formalize my business. Basically, business formalization and being able to get advice from the different BNI members that are directors of their own companies. That's why I say I have a board of directors. Before I do something on my business, I get to talk to maybe say 3 to 4 business owners in BNI, and they share knowledge. And that is what I base on to make my final decision. So that's why I can say I have a board of directors from BNI.
So the collaboration actually does work, and it has worked. And translates into sales. So that's what's most important.
Exactly.
Okay. And what would you say has been in your journey from photography, from when you started, you said you started on campus. What has been your biggest challenge, really? Or even with setting up your studio?
Now, the biggest challenge in the photography business is we normally share stuff. Because when I get a single wedding, with that one wedding, I'll need about 8 stuff. And with our kind of business, the revenues that we generate, you cannot sustain stuff that you pay on a full-time basis. It's basically when you get a job that you get to say, maybe I have a wedding of 1 million, then you say, I'll maybe say pay the photographer 50,000, I pay the videographer 100,000.
There's no standard rate.
Yes. It's basing on how the job has come that you can determine how to pay the person you're going to work with, and then you get to realize what margin you're going to stay with. So the biggest challenge in the photography business is labor turnover. By the time the client makes a booking, you call the videographers, I'm already booked. Because, we don't have full-time staff.
Don't have full-time,
Yes, I'm already booked. Someone else has already booked me. So that is the biggest challenge that we faced. And how we are working on it, that is when I came up with the side skilling. Of training, skilling photographers. So I will skill you and interest you in being available whenever I get work. So that we're able to go together to the field and work as I pay you.
As you pay,
Because the client will pay, I determine what much I'm paying you. So as a student, I'm training you as I pay you. Because you're learning on job. So that is when I chose up on that segment. And given my background from campus, I was so much on YouTube and whatnot. So being on YouTube and being on the internet, I used to see different challenges that photographers were facing. Besides losing clients' work, code an event before you get to know, cards have been formatted. So I used work ahead of time, maybe say by buying hard drives ahead of time. So the biggest challenge mainly it is labor turnover. Other than that, other things you work ahead of time. You collaborate, get to a photographer, get to discuss with them, they share with you their challenges, and you come work ahead of time so that you don't get to be faced with such.
Okay, and before we come to the end, I mean, I've just enjoyed your journey, and for me, I'm thinking, okay, how can we then, what would be your advice to parents, who are nurturing young children? And of course, now the world is changing. We cannot keep telling our kids, oh, you have to pass science, you have to pass this, because the world is really, there's a shift that is happening right now. So what would be like for any parent who is watching, and of course, without telling them, the kids to lead the strike like you did, but based on your experience, starting those businesses, because I feel that whole experience nurtured and kind of led to who you are now with Twine shops.
True.
So what would be your advice to them?
So currently in business,
the
biggest thing I applaud my parents for is something we can call financial discipline. Whenever I would make sales at any given day, this money was not spent on what and what. We knew we had to bank this money in my dad's account, so that it's able to facilitate shopping. I applaud my parents for having introduced us to business at a younger age, because right now the family business is being supported 100% by my big brother. He has been able to help them through all the biggest challenges, starting from taxation to how to manage their books. Now, this is knowledge that he has acquired from school, besides us growing up in business. So right now, the business is where it is now because of the support from my big brother. For any parent, as of now, if you have any business, just imagine how you bring in staff, train that staff, and the staff leaves after maybe say 2 months, looking at what much you invested in this stuff. Now think about it in such a way that this is your son that you're providing this training to. So in a nutshell, you need to involve your children in your business. At a later time, they might pick interest and choose to proceed in the same business, which would of course make it prosper, or they could choose to get into some other kind of business. But in most cases, most children get into the businesses that their parents are doing. Most times. And they do them with so much passion, and they always prosper.
And even if they do something else like you did, you had learnings.
Exactly.
Like the financial discipline you spoke about.
Exactly. Financial discipline, how to manage the staff, because we used to train the employees that we would recruit. We used to pay their salaries. We used to know how to facilitate them. So it is a lot that we learned besides being in the shop and being able to sell maybe a plate, sell toothpicks. We're able to learn how to interact with customers. You get a client who has come to buy, before you get, this client is cancelling you. There are so many things that you get when you're in a shop, or when you get to interact with clients. Someone comes, he's impressed by you being in the shop. They find you at the shop. Where are your parents? They have gone, hey, it's can leave you and you run the business. Okay, they pick so much interest. Like, would get so much advice from people, from parents. Some be like, your children are stealing money from the shop. Of course, it's never on the good side.
It's never,
never on the good side. But of course, if our parents found you with money, the only question was, where has it come from? So we always knew, if you want something, you better ask. Because if you don't ask, they find you with that money, it is obvious where the money is coming from. And given that we're in school, I was in the seminary. In the seminary, they never allowed us to keep money. That is the worst.
Oh, really?
St. Mukasa Seminary.
It's a rule.
Finding you with a coin of 500 shillings would be an expulsion. Finding you with any edible in your suitcase would be an expulsion.
And yet here you are selling hot the whole night.
It happens. It happens.
It happens.
I should say, as people normally say, rules are meant to be broken.
Rules are meant to be broken,
Yes.
but it has led you to where you are now.
Ideally.
Yeah. So as we come to the end, what will you say? What's the best business decision you've made? Looking through your journey, they have to be within Twine Shorts, but that decision you've made, and you're like, yeah, this was a right call.
The best decision that I made was running photography as a business.
Yeah.
Not as something I was passionate about. Flipping from taking free pictures
Yeah.
to charging you 30,000 and being able to support that 30,000 by delivering you pictures on time.
Yeah.
Most photographers in Uganda are running their photography businesses as passion.
Yeah.
They are after working on an event of 700 pictures and releasing one picture to show they have good work. But there is more to that.
Yeah.
Being one wedding, setting it aside, getting another wedding, setting it aside, because that is how money is meant to be made.
Yeah.
So me, running Twine Shorts as a commercial business, a commercial photography business. That's not it for me.
Yeah. Best decision.
That was the best
Clearly.
decision for me.
Okay. So now, just to get onto the cheeky side, what would you say has been your worst client experience?
My worst client experience, there are so many. It being a service business,
Yeah.
you're working at a wedding of 500 people. This one person comes and says, the pictures are bad. Even when the pictures are good, people's minds get inside. And if you're not, I love taking feedback. I love taking feedback, but besides taking feedback, there is always a reason for coming out with that given output. So my worst experience is when clients give feedback, maybe say the pictures are not what they expected.
Yeah.
You tend to go through and give a second edit, still they are not impressed. You get to talk to them, still they are not impressed.
Yeah.
What do I run to? They just want to go and hide somewhere.
Because you're giving it your best.
You've given it your best,
Yeah.
and still this client is not impressed, even after looking at what you can offer. Because it is what you post on social media that is what they could expect.
Yeah.
But events come off in different ways. You can do a low budget wedding, get very good pictures. Do a high budget wedding with over like 10 chairmen, 5 timekeepers, what, and they mess up that day. You literally have no time to capture that good picture. You're getting good work on a low budget wedding, bad work on a good budget wedding.
Yes.
And you lack words on how to defend yourself in front of the client.
Yeah.
They know what happened on that day, but because they paid you to provide the service, you cannot just give the excuses. So you can imagine where I'm coming from. That is the side.
Those are difficult discussions to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how about your best? What has been your best event?
My best event. I cannot say it is one best event. There are several best events.
Yeah.
One thing that we upload also as Twine Shorts, it is a quick delivery time. Our lead time can be maybe say just hours from your wedding.
Okay.
Can leave your wedding because I'm passionate about what I'm doing and I'm providing training, or I'm skilling people that are passionate about photography. These are people that you can leave a wedding at 9 p.m., get to office, copy work and start editing.
And start editing immediately.
And deliver the pictures on Sunday. So we've had so many clients that we can take on that side, because even if we did 6 weddings on a weekend, we are certain that by Tuesday we've delivered all the soft copies we shall have delivered. So there are so many good events, hundreds of them. That would take us on that side.
And you mentioned something earlier. I know it said we had come to the end, but just something came to mind. You spoke about what people see on social media, and it got me thinking, which is your best marketing channel? Because I know you have your Instagram account and TikTok, but which one is your best? Which one is your go-to that, actually brings you real, clients?
Now, some people sell through social media. I shouldn't say that I sell through social media.
Okay. That's interesting.
Most times with a service business,
even
when social media is basically there for people to go and see what we do.
What you do,
to see the quality of our pictures, the quality of our pictures. But still, people will come and ask, do you know Twine Shots? Have you worked with Twine Shots before? So our best-selling mainstream has been referrals. You do because for each wedding that we do, we are certain we are getting more than 5 clients from that wedding.
Yes.
And besides that, these are people that have liked the service before even they look at the output. Looking at how we presented ourselves for work, how we are dressed, how the teams are collaborating, because we basically use radio calls and we don't make movements when we are working. We normally work with telephoto lenses and zoom lenses. If maybe it's a wedding of 3 videographers, every person has where they station.
They are stationed permanently.
We may be the person with a gimbal that is going to walk around. If it's photography, it's only the lights assistant that is meant to move. The other person, you're basically stationed on one place doing your thing.
And it's interesting you mentioned the way you dress. I think from conversations I've had with people, like at weddings, people have a problem with the way service providers dress for weddings. So you find the photographers come dressed the way they want. They're in jeans. For some reason they appear in your photos. Then there's the food people, the DJs. Everyone comes the way they want. So it's interesting that you mentioned that you take so what is your how do you normally dress, like for a wedding? How would your team dress?
Now, how the team would dress is, I'm sure these pictures are going to run on this video as we speak. I'm going to provide them. You can see the pictures. So I may not speak it out now, but you can see the pictures like as they run.
Decent.
That is how we dress up. Basically, it is a white long-sleeved shirt, black trousers, all those grey trousers that you're looking on, putting on the jacket for the morning hours, because we work with ladies. On our team, we believe in diversity. Every wedding we must have a minimum of 2 ladies on set. So we are normally in jackets in the morning. When we get to the reception of the gardens, we knock off the jackets for introductions. We are putting on the grey shirts. As you can see, that is how we dress up, and black trousers with gentle shoes. I
like that. I like that now we are seeing a brand. I'm seeing service providers beginning to take their brand seriously, because it would be annoying. Someone comes in a jean and an Airtel shirt. So thank you so much. I mean, we could go on and on. I know for a fact that there's been value in having this conversation. And for me, if I'm to just highlight the biggest take home for me, is the involving our children in the things that we do as parents, involving them in the businesses and teaching them the financial discipline, like, the way your parents did. But also it's in the fact that you're able to move on from one business to another and do it as well as you did the one before. So thank you so much, Twine. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And guys, I told you I'll always bring you the best conversations and from different walks of life. Here we are with Twine Shots, and I think if his story doesn't really make you laugh, at least learn something from it, because this is someone who started business even when the rest of us were just thinking about prep and being emotional adolescents and not thinking about how we would even make money. But so I hope you've learned something, and I can't wait for us to get onto the next episode. Stay tuned and make sure, as usual, don't just watch. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and share, and let's get everyone to know about the Rise and Thrive podcast. Till next time.